This is the Rolex Sea Dweller 16600. So I am lucky enough to have this one on loan for a moment from one of my friends, and I have never really had hands-on with a Sea Dweller before. It is surprisingly smaller than I thought it was going to be. It is definitely not a thin watch compared to the regular Submariner, but it is definitely thinner than I expected. So because this watch is owned by a woman, it is sized really small. And so I think almost every length that can possibly be taken out, if not every length that can possibly be taken out, has been. And so I can't wear it without the dive extension. You can see here, tiny. But luckily with the dive extension, it does fit my wrist. So let's just go over the watch itself. Gloss black dial, gloss black aluminum bezel insert. Everything glows. So, well, I should say just the pip glows on this one. And this one happens to have retained its pip. And then you've got every indice and the hands, minute, hour, and second hand all glow. 3 o'clock date. The date window is not framed, but does have this beautiful rollover into the dial. I don't know if you can see that, if the macro will be good enough here, but you see how that kind of just like seeps down into the date wheel. Being a Sea Dweller, it is rated for 4,000 feet and features that helium escape valve and drilled lugs. So the drilled lugs, super easy to swap out bracelets. This one happens to have solid end links and is one of the older style oyster bracelets. And so if we rotate around here, you can see the older style clasp. There's that locking clasp, flips up. There we've got the Rolex logos stamped into the clasp itself. As we go around here, you'll see that in the micro adjusts, which there are 4 of, and then we can pop this out here. So this is the dive extension. So we pop out that dive extension one way and then pop it out the other way. There's a piece of stamped steel there that reaches out and extends that bracelet if you were to use this for diving, which obviously is the initial intention of this watch because it is a Sea Dweller. It's a deep diving watch. It's a saturation diving watch, which is why it has that helium escape valve on the side. Same bezel, as far as I can tell, as the Submariners at this age. So that knurling is nice. The grip is nice. Same style crown as well. And so here, if we unscrew that crown, you'll have that triplock crown. So pop it out, you can see one of the gaskets already right there. This is hacking, hand winding, and automatic, of course. The date change, which I'll see if I can show you here, is pretty snappy. It's a smooth rotation, as you would expect with a Rolex. And so here we go, we should see this date change over. There it is. A little early on this model, but it's fairly instant, and that's a beautiful thing there. And so we can see that date change there. And then obviously our first position is winding, so you can hear it. Our second position is that date change. And then that third position is the setting position for the time, which again hacks that seconds hand. So let's get this guy on wrist. So I normally wear my watches loose and lower. This one, the only option is loose and lower again because I'm not adjusting this bracelet, it's somebody else's watch, but it is a little top heavy. It is a kind of a deep dished head on this watch. The bracelet is heavy enough, but it's just the size and height of this that makes it a little top heavy. But a really well-sized watch for the depth rating on it. I mean, it doesn't seem too large on my wrist given that it is a really deep diving watch. You know, you look at something like a Pelagos, and that's still a big watch, although it makes up for its heft in titanium. This one, steel, a pretty big watch. No AR to speak of. You can see all of those reflections from my lighting here and the windows. Rolex generally doesn't do anti-reflective coating. They haven't. Flat sapphire on top of this, and in fact, if we pop off the back here, like normal, a pretty sparse caseback Rolex Oyster original gas escape valve. This one has obviously been loved. It's got plenty of scratches, but you know, it's nice to see one the way it should be after it's had some time out in the world. Instead of the highly polished and perfect window ones or something like you would see in most videos. So this one's definitely had its share of dings, and it seems like it's taken them pretty well. There's that crown on the crown with the 3 dots for that trip lock screw down crown. It does line up pretty well. Obviously minute markers all the way around the outside on the dial, and then every hour has an indice Swiss made on the bottom there, and that's what people pay extra for, although with a Rolex you're paying extra for the fact that it's a Rolex. It is, even though it's an older bracelet, it is just butter smooth, super comfortable, something you would come to expect from a Rolex. Obviously I don't have access to any of the packaging, but standard green Rolex box on these guys. Just a quick look at the helium escape valve there. No markings on it to indicate what it is, so if you didn't know what that was on the side there, you really wouldn't have any indication as to, other than original gas escape valve on the back. I'm gonna see if I can get a lume shot for you here. It is midday, but we'll do our best and get as much lume glowing as we can. So this is as dark as I'm going to be able to get it in here, but you can see that glow. This isn't BGW9 like the newer models. It is a green glow, and so that's just something that they used to do with their watches, and I think they still do with some of their models. It's a pretty strong glow, being for its age. So there you are with your lume shot. So this is a pretty short review. I haven't had it for much time, so I can't speak to its wearability over time or its comfort over a long period of time. But it seems like a very comfortable watch. It seems like, other than its height, it's exactly what you would expect from a Submariner, because it's a Submariner plus some extra guts put in. I'll throw up the stats right here, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.